Drug Force Intelligence Officer Dean Redletter stood in line at the Starbucks. A barista at the espresso bar noticed him with a sideways glance. She turned to a shelf behind her and palmed a white paper cup. A few moments later, it was Dean's turn. "I would like a dark roast coffee straight from the urn with absolutely nothing added. And please put it in a Christmas cup if you have one," Dean said. "Okay," the trainee said. "Do we have any more Christmas cups?" The reply was negative. "We're out of those, sorry." Dean smiled. "That's all right." He used his credit card and put a tip on it. Then he sat in the dining room and looked at his smartphone. It said he was back in town today because a local dentist deposited way too much money in his bank the other day, and his hygienist happens to own a pot shop in town. "Dark roast for here," called the barista. Dean stood up and retrieved the coffee. He took a sip just before he returned to his seat. It was salty, just as he expected. He started typing into his smartphone. "I recommend pressing charges of poisoning the local food supply with the intent to harm a military officer." He pulled a thick plastic bag from his back pocket and put the entire coffee, cup and all, in the bag. He zipped it up and front-pocketed the receipt. He took a picture of it with his smartphone and placed it carefully in his small briefcase. He did not look back as he left the Starbucks store. The Dentist Gold Digger. From the Dean Redletter files of the Drug Force. Based on a true crime. Written by Larry Hussey. Dean's smartphone woke him up the next morning. The local news of the day reported that a dental hygienist who owned a pot shop beat up someone who stole from her shop. Then she proceeded to drag him to the shop. While inside the shop, she pummeled him with glass bongs. Dean made an appointment to see her in jail. The appointment he already had for the current day was with the dentist. This particular dentist had deposited way too much money in his bank account for someone who employed a pot shop owner as a dental hygienist. Dean got to the waiting room and checked in. After about 45 minutes, the dentist came out. "Hello, officer. I'm Dr. Digdug. Nice to meet you." After shaking hands, the doctor said, "Come on in." "Thank you," Dean said. "As you know, I am only here about the large deposit you made at the bank a few weeks ago." "Right," the doctor said. "It is not about the fact that I am down one hygienist today. No, it isn't. However, it is correct that she worked here, right?" "Yes, she fills in at other places too, though." "Got it. So, what was in that deposit, for the record?" "I received a payment from my scrap metal dealer." "What kind of metal was it?" "Mostly gold crowns and fillings, some silver." Uh-huh. Dean swayed a little bit. He was not used to hearing someone admitting so much at once. So he could barely get out a follow-up question. "Somehow you get permission to sell these then?" "Well, it's all part of the dentist experience." "Okay, I have enough information for now. Thank you." Dean stood in line at the La Cochinella coffee house at 7 in the morning. His turn came up. A man in his 20s asked for his order. Dean ordered an espresso macchiato and offered a $5 bill. "Just put it in there," the man said as he motioned to the gigantic tip jar. "Uh, are you sure you are telling me to do that?" "Yeah," the man said. "I can tell you're new here." Dean chose one of the used furniture pieces to sit in. It was the chair facing the front counter. He raised his smartphone and called Commander Forth. "I have my report on Dr. Digdug. He is not involved in drugs, but he is guilty of keeping patients' gold and silver and selling them for himself. I recommend he be arrested and prosecuted." "Okay, Officer Forth, I understand. Since you are there already, I am expanding your mission to arrange for the pot shop there to be remediated as a hazardous waste site. The fact that the owner assaulted a burglar after the fact should be enough." 10-4. "Macchiato for here," the man said. Dean retrieved it. He finished the small drink in a few sips. Then he walked out into the sunshine. He reached into his jacket and pushed a button on his body camera. Then he said, "Send to evidence." After that, he took out his smartphone and started a text. "I at Ladybug sent body cam video for employee theft. Period, period, period." He then canceled his meeting with the hygienist slash pot shop owner and took a taxi to the courthouse instead. A few weeks later, Dean watched some of the action while the hazardous waste incineration took place. The end. This has been The Dentist Gold Digger from the Dean Red Letter Files of the Drug Force, based on a true crime, written by Larry Hussey.